Today, 2,000 points of Iron Hands face off against 2,000 points of the One Spirit series. We have Harlequins, Dark Eldar, Coven, Eldar, Eldar Corsairs, and all led by a succubus facing off against the Space Marines. We're playing Maelstrom of War Mission 1, and stay tuned. So, the armies are in play. We have 2,000 points of Iron Hands, the flesh is weak. We have an infiltrating unit of sniper scouts with cloaks on that objective, a combat squad with rocket launcher, venerable dreadnought plasma cannon, a Godhammer pattern land raider with a tac marine inside with a bunch of bells and whistles, a Sikaran tank with las cannons, 10 tactical marines with plasmas in a rhino, the Gorgon chain commander master with his command squad, all beefed up. He's got the +1 to his feel no pain and the Gorgon chain and all that good stuff. And then we have a combat squad in a Razorback over here with a twin-linked las cannon. And nothing in reserve, just a lot of guys. Oh, there's 5 guys back here in this bolstered ruin. The Dark Eldar, Eldar, Harlequin, Coven, and Corsair army. We have a Grotesquerie in here. Their prince is in that one. The Succubus with the Armor Miseries in that one. We have a Jet Seer with 3 jet bikes there. No scatter lasers. We have 2 3 Lance Ravagers, 5 Cabalite Warriors. We have an infiltrating Shadow Solitaire and an infiltrating Shadow Death Jester. And then we have in reserve, in regular reserve, we have Scourge with 4 Haywire Blasters and a unit of 8 Cabalite Warriors with the Homunculus as well. Then in Deep Strike Reserve, we have a Venom with a Shadow Seer with the Mask of Secrets and 5 Corsair Reavers with jetpacks with fusion guns. And then we have outflanking 2 Eldar Warwalkers with Scatter Laser Bright Lance. Anyway, so that is the entire army. We're playing Maelstrom of War, and the Iron Hands have chosen not to try and steal the initiative, letting the Dark Eldar make the first move. So, I have Secure Objective 3, Overwhelming Firepower, and Harness the Warp. And Secure Objective 3 just happens to be all the way up here, I believe. Okay, let's get this party started. Okay, so the Dark Eldar Farseer jumped out, terrified the unit of scouts, and then failed to hit with Psychic Shriek. And but they did run away, but now they're going to rally. Then I tried to shoot them with a Venom. They passed every cover save because I was trying to force another morale check. But they survived. And then in shooting, I had both of these Ravagers and a Death Jester. Only put 2 hull points on that Razorback. Still alive, but it can only snap shoot and it cannot move anywhere. So then I boosted these 2 Raiders up from here. I was going to shoot over there, but I decided to move them here to get cover from the general army here, because that Sikaran would have ignored their jink. And we're moving on to Dark Eldar, Space Marines turn 1. Now they do have reserves. They have a Storm Talon in reserve, and they have a unit of scouts outflanking. And I did get Harness the Warp, so I'm going to take that as a point. And I'm going to get rid of Secure Objective 3, because there's a unit of Space Marines there. And I'm going to just ignore it for now. Okay, we're moving on to Space Marine turn 1. Let's do this. Guns a-blazing. We had Secure Objective 6 taken by the Gorgon Chain Commander. We had Secure Objective 4, which was over here. That's not going to happen anytime soon. And then we had a lot of movement and shooting. The Space Marines succeeded in gaining First Blood by killing a Venom and killing the Raider with the Sikaran, even though the cover was there. I failed every cover save. And then the guys are out here, but they are not pinned. And we're moving on to Dark Eldar, Harlequin, Eldar, all that good stuff. Turn 2. So we're 2 points to the Space Marines, 1 point to the Eldar Alliance. And we're getting objectives. We have Secure Objective 5, which is right here. This is Objective 5. We have secure objective 5 again. And we continue to hold overwhelming firepower. So say that objective is a priority right now. And I'm going to take a dice that everybody can see in color to roll for my reserve rolls. So I have a regular unit of Scourge coming on the table. They do. I have a regular unit of Cavalite Warriors and a Raider. They do. I have my Shadow Suit. It doesn't. I have the Deep Striking Corsairs. They do. I have the Outflanking Warworkers. They do not either. And that is the entirety of my reserves. We had the Cavalite Warriors run up, secure objective 5 twice. We had the Scourge jump over this big building here and put one penetrating hit on that Land Raider, but they did kill the Stormbolter. Then we had the Raider with the Homunculus and the Splinter Axe here shoot at the Scouts, but they passed every cover save they were required to make. Then we had the Corsairs. They dropped down and blew up the Sakaran with 2 fusion guns, and then they 12-inch moved back with their Dancing on a Razor's Edge behind that Rhino that took a hull point from this Ravager. That Ravager here finally killed that last Razorback. They need to take a morale test to see if they run off the table. Now, in the Psychic phase, this was probably the big thing here. I have the Armor of Misery in that Raider within 6 inches of them, a Grotesque unit, which is -1 leadership, and then my Farseer cast Terrify on the Gorgon Chain Commander, and he failed to deny it, which meant that he had to take a morale test at -4 leadership, and the leadership 6 then commander rolled like a 16 inches, and they ran right off the table, which was the entire command squad because they were not fearless. Then we also had the Solitaire move up here, and the Death Jester failed to do any damage against that unit there. I was trying to pull them up to get them charged into here. And we're moving on to Space Marine turn 2, and I did get a few points. I got secure objective 5 twice. I killed the Commander, Warlord. I killed him, his command squad, and I also killed the Sakaran and a Razorback. So I'm going to be getting D3 points for overwhelming firepower. So we're going to see what happens here. I get 3 points plus Warlord, so that is 6 points to the Dark Eldar this turn, bringing the total 7 to 2. Let's move on to the Space Marine turn 2. So the Space Marines stayed put in their firing base, and the outflanking scouts came in over here. They successfully put 2 hull points on that Jinking Raider with 5 glancing hits from their bolters, just bolter fire. Other shooting saw this Raider mobilize and take 2 hull points from the Land Raider, and the Dreadnought scattered and hit that guy over there, but he survived. And these tactical marines got out and fired and killed 2 of those Reavers who passed their morale test, while these tactical marines did indeed take 1 wound off a Grotesque. We're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 3, and we have reserves to be done. So we have 2 more reserves. We have the Deep Striking Venom with the Shadow Seer. It doesn't arrive. And we have the Outflanking Warwalkers. They arrive. So Big Game Hunter, secure objective 4 and secure objective 6. This Ravager got a lucky 6 against the Land Raider, blowing it sky high. Then other shooting saw a couple of the Servitors die with the Tech Marine. And this Splinter Axe Raider blowing 3 of these poor scouts into smithereens in the forest. We had these Grotesques charge into the Rhino to destroy it. These Grotesques with the Succubus move out of their immobilized ride and run 6 inches towards the Space Marine position. Psychic Shriek finally did something, and 4 out of the 5 Space Marines in this unit have died, but 1 valiantly survives, while the Solitaire has taken another wound. He's down to 1 wound left, and he killed 1 model out of that tactical unit. In the other news, that tactical unit has now died, with the outflanking Warwalkers and the Corsairs making short work of them. And this guy has moved down. We also have the Farseer and the jet bikes just boosted back to take that objective. So we're moving on to Space Marine turn 3. And 3 more points to the Dark Eldar. It's looking grim. What will the Space Marines do in order to save some face? So the Dreadnought killed a Grotesque and tried to charge, but failed that charge. That would have been a good charge there. All the shooting on this flank fired into that Jinking Raider and failed to do any damage as I passed like 5 Jink saves. In combat, the Tactical Marines finally killed the Solitaire, but the Solitaire did dispatch of the Sergeant, while the Storm Talon coming in from reserve blasted one of the Warwalkers sky high. That meant that the Space Marines have gathered no points just because overwhelming firepower is beyond their reach, as well as killing an enemy character in a challenge, which is a Space Marine one, and which is the other one?
Lightning Strike.
Oh, killing an enemy unit in my deployment zone. So he had to try and kill this tank, and it was just not dying. So moving on to Dark Eldar, turn 4. Now it's about the Venerable Dreadnought and the heroes of the Space Marines holding against all odds. I failed my charge against the Tech Marine with the Cabalite Warriors and the Succubus, which means that Dreadnought's going to have a field day. The Dreadnought only suffered 1 hull point from all the haywires, but I was able to take out the Storm Talon with the combined shooting of both Ravagers, this one controlling a Skyfire Nexus. And then the deep striking Shadowseer shrieked the unit of scouts into oblivion, while this Splinter Rack Raider finally killed off the last 2 scouts. These guys have now boosted up to this corner over here. So we're moving on to Space Marine. Turn 4. In combat, we have 2 Space Marines versus some Grotesques in the back, and these Grotesques that ran away from the Dreadnought so they don't get instant squished. While the Corsairs are back here, and this Death Jester finally killed something and forced those Marines to run away, but they were half an inch from running off the table, rolling a 3 on their run roll. On to the next turn. We had the Tech Marine charge in, blow up the Venom, while this unit here of Space Marines tried to kill that Raider and still failed. The Venerable Dreadnought charged into the Succubus's unit after his plasma cannon overheated and put a wound on him. Killed 4 of the Cabalite Warriors, and they ran away, but they got away thanks to their high initiative. The Corsair Prince finally took out the last 2 Space Marines, and they consolidated this way. So the Space Marines have secured objective 1. The Succubus became fearless, moved up. I shrieked the... Oh, sorry, Mirror of Minds, the Tech Marine, so I killed him with Mirror of Minds. And then I shrieked the tactical unit down to 1 member, and he ran away. And then finished him off with Splinter Fire. Other than that, it's pretty much over, but the Fat Lady singing and the Dreadnought, the Venerable Dreadnought, passing every single save he was required to make against all this Haywire and Lance. We're moving on to Space Marine turn 5. It is the Venerable Dreadnought against the world. He's going for the Warlord kill, going in to take out the Dark Eldar command. There's no hope for the Space Marines, but for the honor of the chapter, we shall see what the Venerable Dreadnought succeeds in doing at the end of this turn. Venerable Dreadnought blast the Succubus with a plasma cannon and melt her into a pile of slag, and then charge in and kill the last Cabalite Warrior to consolidate into the forest. The Dreadnought is going to roll to see if it will not die to regain his last hull point. He gets his last hull point back. He's to full hull points, and it is turn 5. So let's roll to see if the game continues. It does. Will the Venerable Dreadnought survive? We shall see. It's all about survival now. I got 2 hull points on the Venerable Dreadnought, and he is still alive with all the shooting from the Dark Eldar forces. So the Dreadnought will now try and murder something else. The Dark Eldar get another 3 points. We're not even counting points anymore. Dreadnought charged into the Grotesque and killed them, capturing objective 5 for a point, but he did not gain a hull point back. So we're going to roll. Does the game continue on to turn 7 on a 4+? It ends. And everybody is rooting for the Dreadnought, who survived the onslaught. It is an overwhelming victory to the Dark Eldar and Eldar forces. But Sandy, thanks a lot for the game, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Oh man, that Dreadnought is gonna haunt me in my dreams. He got Warlord, killed a bunch of grotesques, and did not die. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Make sure you check the links down below for lists and the Patreon page. Thanks a lot to everybody who supports the channel, and thanks a lot to everybody who watches, comments, likes, subscribes, and shares. This is Skari, your grateful host, and the Tactical Corner is more about honor than anything. Welcome to another Tactical Corner. So 2,000 points of Iron Hands facing off against 2,000 points of Eldar, Dark Eldar, Corsairs, Coven, and pretty much everything and through the sun. So the mission was a basic Master of War, 3 objectives at the start of the turn, and the table was of course set up and looked fabulous. I was playing a freak show style Dark Eldar army, so a lot of leadership shenanigans, but I really was trying to showcase as many different units as possible. A couple of grotesque creatures, one of my favorite units, as well as, you know, the basic Eldar with the outflanking Warworkers for some fire support, a couple of Ravagers, even though I'd prefer another unit of Scourge. I'm going to be building one up. So tactically, at the beginning of the game, I was having the first turn really helped, and I really wanted to try and mitigate my opponent's mobility. I knew that the big unit of bikes was going to be my biggest threat. That Gorgon Chain Commander is an absolute beast, and he had rolled +1 Feel No Pain, which meant that he was rocking a 2+ Feel No Pain. Now, it came down to the leadership of the unit, and I was able to cast Terrify on it, and that ended up having the entire unit of the commander, command squad, bikers all run off the table on my second turn. Now this really turned the tide of battle. With that huge amount of points and unit gone from the game, I was able to divert my entire army to the main force of the Iron Hands and really just do some damage. Even the reserves, like the scouts that had come on to outflank, failed to really do any damage to my army. And slowly but surely, with a couple of bad rolls in terms of not being able to kill some key units, and me doing things like blowing up the Sakharin, that was probably my biggest priority. It was about picking the right targets and sticking to my guns, and then just pressing the advantage. Now, with an army like this, you usually tend to win big or lose big. You know, everything in my army ended up working in unison, and my opponent had little to no ability to deal with the forces at hand. Now, tactically, I'm really enjoying the Path of the Heroes for the Harlequins book. The Solitaire, the Death Jester, and the Shadowseer are all really fun units to play with, and they really add a lot of versatility to the Dark Eldar army. The one big threat that Dark Eldar usually have are, of course, Dreadnoughts and Walkers, and the fact that the last vehicle alive was a Venerable Dreadnought to the end of the game is a testament to how difficult it is for Dark Eldar to kill Armor 12, especially Walkers that can hide and cover, and you know, well, in this case, the Venerable Dreadnought could regain hull points thanks to being an Iron Hand. You know, points-wise aside, I played the mission, got all the points, and systematically destroyed the enemy army. But I wanted to talk a little bit about mentality. My opponent was a great sport. He ended up playing the entire game, even though he didn't have very many units left. And it just comes to show how fun playing a game with nothing left can be. It all became about the Dreadnought, which at the end was a great moral victory for my opponent, being able to say that he did not get tabled, and he had a very brave, interred, Venerable Dreadnought fending off wave after wave of Dark Eldar, Eldar, Coven horrors, and Corsairs and Harlequins in an epic confrontation.
Thanks a lot for tuning in. This is Skari, your grateful host. Make sure you check the links down below. Like us on Facebook, or even check out the Patreon page if you'd like to support my content. This is Skari, out.